All right, here we go.
So hi everybody, there's a couple new faces. I'm Terry. My practice is called Authentic Living Yoga, and I have an Instagram and a Facebook page. If you want to like it, you'll find out when I have classes and just different things that are going on. So you're welcome to Yoga on the River. We've been so blessed to have this beautiful space to do yoga outside, and I'm just really grateful for that. And we're going to actually do a class today about an open heart. It's a vinyasa flow class. We're going to use the block, and I encourage you to actually use the block, even whether you think you need it or you don't. I still encourage you to use it. It's going to just show you different perspectives on the poses. So we are going to start seated today. So I was going to tell Canty she would have guessed right. So find yourself in a comfortable seated position. If this cross-legged position works for you, and if you have a block, if you have a towel or a blanket, go ahead and sit on that block. I'm going to pretend like this blanket's my block. Go ahead and elevate your hips there a little bit. And there's another little blankie in here if someone wants it that doesn't have a block. You can roll up. You've got something. Okay. Yeah, if you don't have a block, then use that mat there. That's perfect. Sit up on there just to get your hips elevated a little bit. So check in here once we get in this position. You want to pull your belly button in towards your spine and start to get tall in the spine. Rooting through the sit bones. Just take our palms facing up. And then just check in quick with your knees and just make sure your knees aren't tugging in this position. You don't feel any pain or tugging. And if you do, I encourage you to just put your legs in a different position until that goes away. Find yourself grounding, finding some extension in the spine. And then I encourage you, if it's comfortable for you, to close your eyes. Come into the space, noticing the sounds, noticing the breeze. Just noticing how your body feels today. Do a little mental scan and notice if there are any areas of tightness, something that's bothering you in your body. Just be aware of that. And remember that as we go through class. Be kind to those areas that need a little kindness. Begin to notice your breath. Breathing in through the nose. Exhale through the nose or the mouth. Whichever breath works better for your body today. Notice the rise of the chest on the inhales. Exhales fully, letting the air go. Build that big breath up, bigger inhales. Longer, more fluid exhales. Taking your back of your head and pressing it back until your head is stacked over your shoulders, over your hips here. Got a nice tall spine. Notice how that feels, just that little bit of a shift. This is a place that we can set an intention for our practice here. See if something comes to you naturally, organically to mind. And if nothing comes organically, then maybe your practice can be our theme. To welcome the practice with an open heart. Flutter the eyes open. Inhale the arms up to the sky, reaching through the fingertips. Exhale, reverse the palms and slowly lower till your fingertips touch the mat. Another big inhale, palms rising. Bringing the palms together if they meet. If not, just stretching through the fingertips. And exhale, reverse the palms all the way down, slowly to the mat. One more time. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, we float. And release. Roll those shoulders up and back. Loosening up the shoulders there. And Heck, so did somebody drop a mat?
It was on the pad.
Somebody drop their knee pad? Yeah, just slowly loosening up those shoulders, rolling them up and back. Resting your palms on your hands here for just a second. I want you to take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth very loud. It's lion's breath. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. Last time, inhale. And then release everything. Let it all go. Great job, everybody. So we're going to take, everybody has a block, I hope. I know some of you may not have brought a block. I'm going to pretend this blanket's my block. So if you have a block, remove your block. This is going to be my block. And your block should have 3 settings. If you lay it this way, that's the shortest setting. You can lift it up on its side, that's setting 2. And the highest setting is setting 3. So throughout practice today, I'd like you to keep your block within hand's reach. Wherever we're at, we're going to use it in lots of different poses just to show us how we can get deeper into our practice, how we can use it to extend our arms, and how we can really use it to find some ease in the postures as well. So keep your block handy. This is going to be my block since I need to buy some more blocks, I think. And we're going to go ahead and turn around and bring our block to the front of our mat. And you can start it with put it on the lowest setting. If you don't have one, then roll up a blanket, or you have an extra mat, use that. And then we're going to come up on our knees and knees underneath our hips here and put our hands on our block on the low setting here. And then just organically start to move the hips. Let the hips take you where they need to move. Whether it's circles or swift to the right and to the left. Maybe getting the shoulders into it a little bit. Just taking time to just loosen up the body and let it tell you if there's any places in your body that are kind of sticky or tight or sore. And then bringing your knees together, finding some stillness, bringing your knees closer together. Inhale, take a big inhale. And exhale, let's press our hips down to the direction of our heels. Hands are still on our mat, finding our child's pose, bringing our mat, our block to a place where we can rest our forehead on it. Bring our arms behind us with our palms facing up. Help open that upper back. Finding yourself in child's pose here, taking some breaths. Rolling the forehead side to side just to release any tension there. Notice if you're holding tension in your jaw, and open your jaw and release it. Do that a couple times. Just open wide and release anything you're holding there in that jaw. Finding some space. As we work on a practice today, keep our heart open. Allow things to come and go, keeping your heart as open as the sky. Your palms facing up with it behind you to draw some energy in, releasing those upper back muscles. Take a couple big breaths here. Then inhale, let's bring the hands back to the block. Press the block away from you, push it up to the front of your mat, out of your way. And we're still in our child's pose here, hips moving back towards our hips, head moving toward the mat. Let's walk our hands all the way, both hands all the way over to the right. Sinking through the hips, finding our breath, our gaze down. Maybe take the left hand now and place it on top of the right. Help open up the left side of the body. At the same time, sinking through the hips. As we inhale, we find a little ease in the posture, and as we exhale, pretend you can send that breath to the hips and they sink a little more to the earth. On inhales, we soften. On the exhales, we sink. Find a couple more breaths here. Make them big, make them count. When you're ready, let's inhale the hands back to center, back to the midline. And exhale, let's explore walking them over to the left side. Sinking through the hips, finding the breath, maybe taking the right hand on top of the left. Imagining space between the vertebrae, imagining space along the side body. Allowing the breath to take you in and out of ease and work. Just take one more big breath. Walk the hands back to center. Walk your hands closer to you. Come up to your hands and knees now. Now if you have a towel or a blanket, this is a perfect place to put it under your knees. You want to do that if you have that. We find our knees underneath our hips, our elbows and wrists underneath our shoulders here. Pulling the belly button into our spine. Our crown is pulling forward. Your crown's pulling towards me, your tailbone's pulling behind you. Just imagining some length in that vertebrae. As if we can make space by pulling our head and tail apart. Make sure that you've got a little micro grip in your hands on the mat to protect those wrists. Let's take a big inhale. Exhale, let's lift the hips, bring the chin and heart forward, coming into cow. Exhale, we round the upper back, press the hips forward and tuck the chin, coming into cat. Inhale, we lift the heart and the hips. Exhale, we press up into cow. Finding space in that upper back. Just continue that, linking a few more rounds, linking your breath to the movement. Getting that spine nice and warmed up. Finish the round you're on and let's meet back in a neutral back. Finding that extension and that belly pulling in. Grab your block and bring it in front of your hands here so it's nice and handy. Then I want you to take your left hand and turn it 1/4 turn in towards the center of your mat. Just allowing a little more space here under the shoulder blades. Rooting down through the left hand. Let's inhale the right hand up to the sky. Exhale, we thread the right hand underneath the left, bringing our head to rest on our block here. Adjust your block so you can reach it. Finding your way here, hips parallel. Now take a breath in and try to reach your right fingertips out a little bit further. You can leave your hand, the left hand where it is, or you can extend it to the front of your mat. Finding a stretch all the way through the back, upper back here. Let's pause here and see how this feels. It's always nice sometimes to close the eyes so you can actually tune into the sensations and the breath. You can stay here, or you have an option. You can take the left hand arm behind you and lay it on the low back, or you can take the bind and bind it into the hip crease on your right leg. Circling the heart more towards the sky this way. With an open heart. If your left hand is behind you, bring it back so your hands are underneath your shoulder or extended forward. Root down to the left hand as an inhale. Exhale, bring the right arm all the way back up to the sky for a nice counter stretch here. And exhale, release the hand back to the mat. Sit back on your hips for just a moment. Take a quick child's pose. Take one breath here. Reset. Come all the way back up to our tabletop and we'll go to the other side. Right hand comes in 1/4 turn towards the center of the mat. Take a breath in, pull that belly button. Inhale the left hand up to the sky, following it with your gaze. Exhale, we thread and rest our head onto the block here. And find whatever variation here is working for you. You can leave your hand under your shoulder. You can extend that front arm long to the front of the mat. That might feel really yummy. Or you can take the bind behind the low back if that's working for you. And if you're in the bind, try to rotate your heart up a little closer to the sky. And then reconnect with the breath now. What is the loudest noise? Is it something in your body? Is it your breath? Or is it something in your mind? Try to let that go. Find ease in all three, the mind, the body, and the breath. You're ready. If you've got the bind, release the hand. If your hand's forward, release it underneath your shoulders here. Take a big inhale, press down through the right hand and lift the left arm back up to the sky for a nice counter stretch. And exhale, float the hand back down to our tabletop position here. So I'm going to take this block here and just going to leave it right where it's at. And you might want to put it on a higher setting, but let's start on the low setting first. Put both hands on the block and then tuck the toes. We're going to get into a little bit of a toe stretch here. Find some extension first in the spine, pulling the belly button in, pulling the crown forward. Get a nice straight line between the tailbone and the top of the head. Find the breath here. And then you can start to straighten your arms back to the point of where you're getting some stretch in those feet. This is not a full toe stretch, but you're going to go slow. And you can actually bring that block up to the second or third position if you want, and then stretch your arms a little further if you have more opening in your feet. Find the place that works for you. Knowing you can always lift the hips at any time and come back up. We don't work on our feet enough. That's one of the things I try to put in a lot in my yoga practices. It's one of the things you probably don't do in very many other modes of exercise that you do. When you're ready, let's come back up to the toes, untuck those toes, set my block off to the side, but handy. Press my hands into the mat, all fingers nice and wide here. Just tuck those toes, come up into downward facing dog, and then walk your hands up to your feet up to your hands. Root down with a slight bend in the knees, come all the way up, hands to sky and to heart center. Good job. We're going to get our body a little warm here, go through 2 rounds of Sun Salutation A, Surya Namaskar A. It's a salute to the sun, but it's a good way of opening up the body and getting flexion and extension and warming the body up. So starting in our Tadasana, our mountain pose, tuck, tighten, and tall, get extension in the spine. Hands can be by your side, palms forward. Slight bend in the knees. Inhale, let's reach the arm up to the sky, take our gaze up. Exhale, we crease at the hips and fold, bending our knees, bringing our hands down to our forward fold. Inhale. Exhale, hands to shin, nice flat back. Exhale, let's plant the hands and step or float back to plank. Belly button pulls in, crown and tail pulling away from each other, pressing those heels back. Inhale. You can take chaturanga, or you can lower your knees, keeping the hips up, lower your chest, chin, and come up into up dog or cobra, your choice. Breathe. Tuck the toes, press back into downward facing dog. Pushing the heels back, dropping the head between the shoulders, rotating the upper thighs to behind you. Take a breath here. And then walk, step, or jump your feet up, finding your fold. Exhale. Inhale to flat back, hands on shin. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root down, rise all the way back up. Slight little back bend. And exhale, hands to heart center. Good job, everybody. I can't see you, I need to turn around. Let's do that one more time, finding our Tadasana. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, we fold. I'm going to turn sideways, all right? Chest moving towards your thighs, little bend in the knees. Inhale, we come to a flat back. Exhale, we plant the hands and float or jump back to plank. Or step back, excuse me. Belly button pulled in, pressing through those heels. Shifting your weight forward up on the toes, taking chaturanga, or knees, chest, chin, coming into cobra, heart forward, or up to up dog. Yogi's choice. Tucking the toes. Inhale, exhale, finding our down dog. Adjusting, maybe sinking the heels a little bit in down dog here. Inhale, walk, step, or jump up. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, flat back. Pull the belly button in, extension in the spine. Exhale, we find the fold. Inhale, we root down and rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Right, Good job, everybody. Everybody's warmed up. Get my hair out of my face here. So from your Tadasana, find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Get your form, you tuck, tighten, and tall here. Inhale. Which way is better to do this here? So we're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, we're going to windmill the arms out. Bring the back leg back about 4.5 feet, finding warrior 2. Back toes at a 45-degree angle, so your toes are facing the front corner of your mat. Imagine there's a wall behind you. You're going to get both shoulder blades on that wall here. Now you can widen your stance here to provide more room for your pelvis if that works better for you, and it keeps that front knee from falling in. Find your breath, your gaze over the middle finger, pulling the middle finger in the front and the middle finger in the back away from each other. Find your breath. Inhale, exhale, back hand comes to thigh, flip the palm and the up, finding a reverse warrior. Pressing our knee forward to our knee is stacked over our ankle here. Option to stay here, or you can slide your hand down that leg a little further, coming into a slight back bend with your gaze up to your fingertips. Pulling the right ribs back, the left ribs forward here. Inhale, exhale, we're going to bring the hand down, grab your block, bring your block to the outside of your foot here. You can put it on the high setting or a lower setting. We're going to come into extended side angle, so your hand can be on your thigh here. Right arm comes up and over around the ear, pulling through the pinky here. Grounding through the outside of the back foot, finding that line of energy from the back foot all the way through the front fingertips. Twisting the heart open, pulling the right ribs back. Option to stay here or bring the hand down to the block. Find your breath. Inhale, it straighten the front leg. Bring the, you might want to have your block in a higher setting here, coming into triangle. So we want our shoulders stacked. Front legs nice and straight. We're keeping a micro bend. Nice windmill in the arms. Rooting through the back corner of the foot, through the heel, and pulling the belly button in and up. Now taking a bend in the front knee, grab that block, bring it right in front of your foot here, and step and launch into half moon, which I can't do without the block. Bringing the back leg up. There we go. We're externally rotating the back thigh, finding balance in the standing leg with a micro bend. Option to stay here or reach around and grab the foot, and inhale, pressing the foot in and come into Shavasana, taking the gaze up. If you're in Shavasana, you can come all the way back to half moon first, and release the back leg. Reorient the pelvis forward, finding warrior 1. 45-degree angle in the back foot. Knee stacked over ankle. Getting long in the waist here. Trying to reset that pelvis to a neutral orientation here. Exhale, the hands come down, we step back to down dog. Pedal it out, find your breath. Stay here in down dog with your breath, stretching, or you have an option if you want to take the vinyasa, you can take a vinyasa. We're all going to meet back in downward. So if we're taking the vinyasa, we're going to come forward, shift into plank, lower to chaturanga or knees, chest, inhale to cobra, exhale to down dog. Just come back to down dog, take a moment. Find your breath. Press the heels back. Pressing your weight into your right foot. Inhale, the left leg comes up and back. Come up on the toes. Exhale, we bring it through and find, open up to warrior 2 on this side.
The other side, you mean?
This side. Thank you. The opposite side we just did. Excuse me. Take a breath. Make sure you're rooting through the back heel, knees lined up over the ankle here. Finding extension in the arms, belly buttons in. Remember the imaginary wall. If your knee looks more like this, see if you can press your shin forward a little bit till your knee is over your ankle and sink the hips, but not extending beyond. Couple more breaths. Nice and tall and strong in our warrior. Inhale, we flip the palms and we find our reverse warrior. Again, staying here. We're sliding the hand down a little more, bringing your gaze up for a slight back bend. Make sure the front knee's not falling in. Be active in all four corners of both feet. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Make sure you've got your block on the outside of the foot here. We're gonna bring our forearm to the thigh. Left arm comes in and over the ear up to the front, pulling through the pinky finger here. Recheck that knee, stack it over the ankle. Twist the heart open towards a little more towards the sky. And the option to reach down and grab the block, or put your hand on the block. Find your place in the setting. Adjust where necessary. When you're ready, let's straighten the front leg, finding triangle. Make sure the shoulders stacked over each other. Pressing down through the outer edge of the back foot. Left ribs pulling back, right ribs pulling forward. Your gaze can come up to the fingertips if that doesn't bother your neck. Now let's bend in the front knee, grab your block, bring it up and launch into half moon, lifting the back leg. Externally rotation of the back leg, pulling the thigh behind you. Pressing through the heel, shoulders are stacked. Find your balance. It's okay to come in and out as many times as you need to. If you want the option, you can take Shavasana. Reach back and grab that foot, pressing the foot into the hand as we roll open the heart here. If you're in Shavasana or falling out like me, come back to half moon. And exhale, lower the back leg. Reorient the pelvis forward. Finding warrior one, elbows by ears. Adjust wherever you need to adjust in the pose. Find your breath. Exhale, bringing the hands down and step back to downward facing dog. Find your breath in down dog. Pedal it out. Inhale. Exhale, we come down to tabletop. Take a breath. And then we're just going to drop one hip and swing our legs out in front of us. Finding Dandasana. Long legs extended, toes pulling back towards your shin, belly pulled in, crown pulling up. Hands on your thighs here. Find your breath, find some extension, and keep a little softness to the knees. Notice that beautiful breeze. Your heart's nice and open along the front. Remember the intention you set. Take a big inhale. Exhale, we're going to keep in a nice straight back. We're going to begin to slide the hands down the legs. But only so far as we can keep that straight line between the tailbone and the crown of the head, not rounding. So this is not a big movement. Pull the belly button in. Exhale, we kind of bring the torso back up. Do that one more time. Inhale and get tall. Pull the toes back towards your shins. Exhale, we slide the hands down just to that place of resistance plus a tiny little nudge. And then maybe we settle in and close the eyes. Where am I feeling this? Where am I holding on? Am I holding my breath? Can I break the breath a little bigger? Find some release in the pose. If you do feel a little bit of release, then maybe you inch your fingers just a tad further, but only if you feel your body releasing and asking for that. When you're ready, slowly slide your hands back up. Take your hands to press you closer to where your feet are towards the end of the mat. Take your block beside you where you can reach it. Put it next to your hip here. reaching the fingers forward, toes pulling back, pulling the belly button in, and lower slowly all the way to the mat. To your back is all the way on the mat. Softening your shoulders away from your ears, making sure all four corners, bend the feet first. Bend the knees and bring the feet underneath our knees. Make sure all four corners of your torso are on the mat. Both shoulders, both hip bones. And then we're not arching our low back. If we are, pull that belly button in and up to get rid of that arch. And we're going to walk our heels in closer to our body as we reach our fingers forward and see if our fingers will graze the heels. Put them in as close as we can get them. Take a breath here. And now grab your block, put it in your right hand or left hand, whichever side it's on, it doesn't matter. We're going to take an inhale and we're going to press through the feet and lift the hips up slightly and place that block either on the first or second position right under that sacrum, right in that low back where, like some of us have little dimples there, right in that low back, right above there. And then release your hips onto it, your palms facing down, soften the shoulders, and find supported bridge. I'm going to come up so you guys can hear me, and you can adjust the block to whatever level feels good to you. There's 3 different levels, or if you're using a blanket, roll it up. Find your breath in the posture, being supported by the bridge, your heart's open to the sky, open to the possibilities, open to your practice. Your feet are not just sitting there though, they're active. You're still rooting down through the feet, not allowing the knees to splay open, but finding some ease in the upper body. And notice if you're arching the neck. If you are, just tuck the chin slightly to take that curve out of that cervical spine there. So we work on release of the entire spine, the cervical, the lumbar, the thoracic. When you're ready, pressing through the hands and the feet, lift your hips up to take the block away. And then very slowly lower yourself all the way back down to the mat. Good job. Now let's do that one time without the block. Inhale, pressing through the feet and hands. Exhale, lifting the hips. Feel the difference of when you're supported by the block and when we're not. It feels like a different pose. Both equally effective, but they are a different pose. When you're ready, you can slowly lower the hips all the way back down. Great job, everybody. So we're still going to need that block hand. Your knees still going to be bent. We're still got all 4 corners of the torso on the back. Keeping the block near you where you can reach it. I want you to inhale the right leg up to the sky. Exhale, cross it over so the ankle crosses the left thigh, and we flex the toes back towards the knee. Try to pull that knee away from us in a figure 4 here. Recline pigeon. I want you to take that block, and I want you to put it underneath your left foot. So you're stepping on the block here. So give you a little bit more stretch. Notice what you're feeling here. Relaxing the upper body. Shoulders soft away from the ears. Pulling the right knee away from you. The left toes are flexed. Tuck the chin slightly to keep a curve out of the neck. Now, keep in mind what you're feeling, the sensations, and if you feel like your body needs more sensation, you can lift the left foot off of the block, bring your hands behind, interlace them behind the left thigh, and gently pull your left knee towards your left armpit. Still pulling the right knee away from you, still flexing the toes. Pause here. Breathe. What do I feel? Might be a perfect place for you to stay. Or if you still feel like your body has some more opening, then you can lift the left leg up to the sky, pressing the heel towards the sky. You should still pull the left leg in. Find your breath, knowing you can come back to any alternative position here. It works better for your body. If you like your leg on the block better, then bring it back to the block. If Your legs extended. Let's bend that knee and set it back on the foot back on the block. Release the hands. Bringing the hands out nice and wide to a T to open up those shoulders. Heart open to the sky. Still in the figure 4 here. Big breath in. On the exhale, let's take your left foot, scoot the block out of the way, and drop the right foot all the way to the left side of your mat. Your legs are still in figure 4. Your arms are out nice and wide. A little supine twist here. Now take your left hand and set it on your right knee, just as a brace. We're not really pushing it, we're just keeping it from falling in. And now maybe explore taking the right hand up overhead, palm facing up. Stretching through the fingertips as we try to pull the right knee away from us and finding a stretch on the right side of the body from the fingertips all the way down the side through the knee. Find your breath, breathing into that left side of the body, breathing into the right side of the body. Bringing the extended arm back out to a T, both arms out to a T. Inhale, let's bring the legs back up. Right leg extends to the sky, pressing in through that heel. Exhale, we bring the right foot down beside the left. Before we go to the other side, let's give ourselves a little bit of a hug. Pull those knees in, pull that chin up towards our knees. Nice little tight ball. Just nice gentle squeeze. Inhale, exhale, release the arms and release the feet back with the knees bent. Pressing down through the feet, all 4 corners. Inhale, the left leg up to the sky. Exhale, we cross and find our figure 4 on this side. Find your form first. Your feet are flexing, your knees pulling away. Probably should have told you to make sure you grab your block for the side. And then lift it up, put your right foot on the block. Find your breath here, and just notice what you're feeling here at this level. You can stay here, or you can take whichever other option you want. Hands behind the right thigh pulling in. Stay here or lift the right leg. Find whichever version of this pose works better for your body on this side. Keep breathing. Try not to arch the neck, tuck the chin, keep the arch out of the cervical spine. Make sure your breath is coming nice and big and deep. Inhale, let's lower the foot back to the block. Remove the hands from behind the thigh. Kick the block out of the way. Just scoot it out of the way. Take a big inhale. Exhale, arms out to a T and drop the foot over to the mat. Keeping the figure 4 in the legs. Finding a nice twist. Taking a moment here to find your breath. Taking your hand to brace your knee, then inhale and lift the opposite arm up overhead, finding the stretch along the side of the body, left side of the body, but finding some softness and ease somewhere in the posture, whether it's in your jaw, maybe you open the jaw and release any tension. Maybe you give yourself permission to relax in the posture. Don't always have to be working so hard. I love this pose. When you're ready, bring your hands back out to a T. Lift the knees, legs back up. Unwind the legs, stretching the left leg up to the sky through the heel first. And exhale, lowering the foot with knees still bent here. Take a moment to give yourself just a little bit of a hug. Squeezing that low back into the mat. Then from here, put one hand behind each knee. All 4 corners of your torso are on the mat. Your neck is nice and relaxed. You pull the knees, one left knee towards the left armpit, right knee towards the right armpit. And then lift your feet to the soles of your feet to the sky, finding happy baby. You can stay here using your hands behind your thighs to pull your knees in. or you can reach up and grab the inner arches of your feet or your big toes. As we try to pull the knees towards the armpits, we take the arch out of the neck, and then maybe we rock the baby, just giving our low back a nice massage here. Releasing any tension there. Good job, everybody. When you're ready, releasing the feet back to the mat. Releasing putting your block out of the way. Finding whatever props you might need as we extend the legs long and move into finding our Shavasana. Allow the feet to display open, naturally externally rotated. Your palms can be along your side or on your belly, whichever feels more comfortable to you. Your knees can be bent or straight. Now I invite you to close your eyes. Let's find some stillness in the posture, some ease to the breath. We're no longer trying to control the breath. We're just letting it move in and out of the body in a natural way. Imagine your hips are sinking, your heart is open. And just be here. Give yourself permission to take a few more minutes in ease, in the most important posture in yoga. Your eyes closed, start to bring some awareness back to your surroundings. Noticing the sounds. Can you hear the sounds on the bridge? Can you hear the birds? Can you hear your own heartbeat? Begin to deepen the breath now, building it back up, bringing vitality to the body and the breath. Maybe a gentle rock of the head from side to side. Just bringing some awareness to the upper spine and the cervical spine. Maybe wiggles of the toes, maybe little circles with the ankles, maybe wiggles of the fingers, maybe circles with the wrists. Take an inhale and maybe stretch the body long, arms overhead, toes pulling away, feeling the energy come back to the body. Exhale and pull the knees in and give ourselves a hug. Squeezing the knees to our chest. With our knees bent and our eyes closed, finding our body way over to one side or the other. Taking our time, moving slowly. Maybe resting our head in the crook of our arm here. reminding ourselves of the intention that we set at the beginning of class. Repeat it in your mind. Repeat it again. Let it sink and settle. Stay with you through the rest of the day. The more you open your heart to others, the more your life becomes joyful. Open up your heart and mind to the infinite wonderful experiences there are in life. Open your heart. Hear the blessings all around you, singing songs of love. Gently use your hands to press you up to a seated position. Maybe keep the eyes closed for another moment. I know that didn't work so well for us last week, but those that were here, the car went flying by. But let's inhale the arms up to the sky, reaching up through the waist, stretching through the fingertips. Bring our hands together and rub them together, lowering the hands to heart center. You can participate as we do 3 ohms to honor the past, the present, and the future. Inhale. Oh. Again, inhale. Oh. Inhale. Oh. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Thank you for coming out to the river and practicing together with a grateful heart, an open heart. I wish you namaste. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. Always, anybody has any questions or anything after class about something that's going on in your body or a pose, always feel free to come up. We were not going to have class Saturday. Those of you that got here late, I'm not going out of town, so I will be here Saturday at 9 a.m. If anybody wants to come and take class on Saturday, go ahead and bring your block with you. We'll do some of the same. We'll mix it up a little bit, but we'll do a lot of the same things Saturday. And maybe you'll see where your body has, feels a little more ease in the postures now that you've done them one time. So let me turn this off. Those of you that